It's Grandmama Doris. This story is about Jesus heals a little girl. When Jesus crossed the Sea of Galilee in a boat to the other side, a large crowd had gathered to greet him. So he stayed by the seaside. One of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name, came up upon seeing Jesus. And he fell to his feet, and he earnestly began to beg Jesus, saying to him, "My little girl, she is dying. Please come, please, I beg of you. Place your hands on her, so that she might be cured and live." So Jesus went with him, and a great crowd followed. In the crowd was a woman who had suffered from an hemorrhage for 12 years and had been treated by many doctors and physicians, spending all that she had, yet none of it made her any better, but rather she had grown worse. Having heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd, and she touched his robe. For she said to herself, "If I can but touch his garment, I shall be cured." Immediately, the hemorrhage stopped, and she knew that she was cured from her disease. Jesus, knowing at once that the healing power had gone from him, turned around in the crowd and said, "Who touched my garments?" His disciples said to him, "You see the crowd pressing around you, and yet you ask, 'Who touched me?'" But still he looked to her who had done this, until the woman, frightened and trembled, knowing what had happened to her, came forward and knelt down before Jesus and told him. She told him the truth. But he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has cured you. Go and live in peace, and be healed from your disease." While Jesus was still speaking, messengers came from the house of the ruler of the synagogue, saying, "Your daughter is dead. Why terrible the master father?" But Jesus overheard this message and said to the ruler of the synagogue, "Have no fear, and only trust." Jesus would allow no one to go with him except Peter and James and John, the brother of James. When they came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, he found a crowd of people weeping aloud and wailing. Upon entering, Jesus said to them, "Why are you making an uproar and weeping and crying? The child is not dead, for she is only asleep." And they laughed at him scornfully. But he sent them out and took the father and mother over to the child, into the room where the girl was laying. Then taking her by the hand, he said to her, "Talitha," which means little girl, "arise." To the astonishment of all, the little girl, who was 12 years of age, got up at once, and she walked away. But Jesus charged them strictly to let them know of this, and told them to give the little girl something to eat. Thank you so much.